The little girl came out of nowhere, her shoes slapping against the bright pavement, her small hands shaking as she ran straight toward the police officers standing near their patrol car. Tears streamed down her dusty cheeks, her chest rising and falling too fast for such a tiny body, and when she reached them, she clutched at one officer's uniform as if it were the last solid thing in the world. Her eyes were wide with fear, and her face carried the kind of urgency that makes time slow down. She was crying so hard she could barely breathe, pointing back toward the neighborhood behind her, begging in every way a child can without words for them to follow her home. In that single moment, something about her terror made both officers understand that this was not a misunderstanding, not a game, but a silent emergency unfolding in the middle of an ordinary day. Before we go any further, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of doing the right thing when it matters most, please take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who needs hope today, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to the channel Good Soul. Your support helps keep stories like this alive. The girl's name was Amina, only 7 years old, living in a quiet daytime neighborhood where sunlight spilled across cracked sidewalks and laundry fluttered from balconies. From the outside, her street looked calm, almost sleepy, but Amina's life had been anything but peaceful. She had learned early how to make herself small, how to listen for sounds that meant danger, and how to take care of herself when no one else seemed to notice. That morning, she had woken up hungry again, the house strangely silent except for a ticking clock and the distant hum of traffic. She tried to wake the one person she loved most, but there was no response, only a stillness that felt wrong even to a child who did not understand words like emergency or loss. Fear settled into her bones slowly, like cold. Amina waited, then waited some more, hoping things would change, hoping someone would open their eyes and smile at her. When nothing happened, panic took over. She did the only brave thing she could think of. She ran. Past neighbors who were busy with their own lives, past shops opening for the day, until she saw the police officers she had been taught to trust. The officers, Malik Rowan and his partner, sensed immediately that something serious was unfolding. Without hesitation, they followed her small, hurried steps back toward the house she pointed to, her sobs echoing in the bright air. As they walked, Amina kept glancing back, afraid they might stop, afraid they might leave her alone again. The house she led them to was modest, paint peeling, the front door slightly open as if someone had meant to come back but never did. Inside, daylight filtered through thin curtains, illuminating a scene that would stay with everyone there forever. They found an adult lying still, surrounded by signs of a life stretched too thin by hardship. It was clear that time had passed, and help had not arrived soon enough. In that quiet room, the weight of what had happened pressed down heavily, and even trained officers felt their throats tighten. But the tears did not come only from sadness. They came from understanding. From realizing how long Amina had been alone with something no child should ever face. Malik knelt beside her, not as an officer, but as a human being, steady and present, offering comfort in silence. Neighbors gathered outside as word spread, some covering their mouths, others wiping their eyes, all struck by the courage it took for such a small girl to run toward help instead of hiding from fear. In the hours that followed, the story of Amina moved through the community like a quiet wave. Social workers arrived, neighbors brought food, and people who had never spoken before stood together in shared grief and compassion. Amina was given a blanket, warm hands to hold, and for the first time that day, a sense that she was not invisible. The pain of what she had lost did not disappear, but something else appeared beside it: care, attention, and the promise that she would not be forgotten. What stayed with everyone was not just what the officers found, but what they witnessed in Amina herself. Despite fear and loss, she had chosen trust. She had believed that someone would help if she ran far enough, if she tried hard enough. That belief changed everything. It turned a tragic discovery into a moment of collective humanity, reminding everyone watching that even in the brightest daylight, hidden struggles exist, and sometimes the smallest voices carry the greatest courage. As this story comes close to its end, if this moment touched your heart even a little, please take a second to engage with this video. Your likes, comments, and shares help stories of compassion reach further than silence ever could. And before we finish, we have a special request for you. Please comment the word hope below if you believe that kindness can still change lives. Amina's life would never be the same after that day, but it would not be alone. In the midst of tears, something beautiful emerged, a reminder that bravery does not always roar, that sometimes it runs barefoot down a sunlit street, crying for help, trusting that someone will follow.